Good day, Crime Talk aficionados. This is Scott Reisch of Crime Talk. First on the docket today, a Heidi Broussard update. A Supreme Court update on a murder case reversed for prosecutorial misconduct. One lawyer is making us all look bad. One cop is making them all look bad. And our dumb criminal contestant of the week turns himself in. Let's talk about it. Good day, Crime Talk aficionados. This is Scott Reisch of Time Talk, and thank you for tuning in. First, thank you for subscribing. If you have not done so already, please do so. Leave us a comment below of what we talk about today. We want to know what you have to say, and hit that little bell so you receive notifications of when we put out new content or when we go live. First on the docket, a Heidi Broussard update. For those who are not familiar with Heidi Broussard, she is missing. She is an Austin woman, and she was last seen last week with her now 3-week-old daughter, Margot. Her fiance/boyfriend, Shane Carey, stated that he last saw her when they left in the morning and he returned home in the middle of the afternoon and found her car parked at the house with her purse and keys and everything in the car and the baby seat still there. No one has seen neither Heidi nor Margot since that last day where she was ultimately seen dropping off her previous child from a previous relationship at school in the morning. Now, a lot of local TV stations had an interview with Shane Carey, who basically said all the right things, that he wanted her back, was scared, like, shouldn't we be doing something else? And a lot of people are questioning whether he is in fact a person of interest. Now understand, everyone is presumed innocent, even if they are charged, and Mr. Carey has not been charged, so he should be given that presumption. Now, the police in Austin actually went to the lengths today to state that no one is of a person of interest, and they are still investigating the case, and what it sounds like is they have no real leads at this point. Although a lot of those videos have been taken down, our video, which we'll link to below that we put up yesterday, still has those interviews up if you want to see them. We also put up the video of the police interview today, and you can take a look at that as well. Let me know what you think. Was the boyfriend, Shane Carey, doing everything right? Do you think he should be a person of interest? What do you think? What information do you know that we don't know may lead to the discovery of Heidi Broussard and her daughter, and hopefully they're found safe. Next on the docket is an update regarding a case that went to the United States Supreme Court, and that involves Mr. Curtis Flowers, a man who's been tried in Winona, Mississippi 6 times. That's right, 6 times. 4 have resulted in a conviction, 2 in a mistrial, and the 4 times it resulted in a conviction, each and every time the case has been reversed, most of all for prosecutorial misconduct. What misconduct do you say the prosecutor could possibly be engaging in? He doesn't like black jurors as a juror for Mr. Flowers. Now, this case went to the United States Supreme Court on this very issue, and you know it had to be of some significance because Clarence Thomas, who has not spoken in an oral argument in 3 years, asked a question about this case and specifically asked, did the defense strike any white jurors? And the response from counsel was, yes, because there were no black jurors to strike, Your Honor. In this particular case, the same district attorney has charged Mr. Flowers every time and prosecuted the case. As Judge Kavanaugh wrote, the numbers speak loudly. Over the course of the first 4 trials, there were 36 black prospective jurors against whom the state could have exercised a peremptory challenge. The state tried to strike all 36. Now, for those who don't know, if a juror can be struck for 2 reasons. One is for cause. They can't be fair and impartial. If there's some sort of interest in the case, and basically if it would be a hardship to be a juror. Then there are peremptory challenges, and depending on the type of case, it could be 6, it could be 10, it could be 12 peremptory challenges based upon the severity of the charges and the local rules. But the defense or the prosecution can strike a juror for any reason. However, there are limitations. The prosecution cannot strike a juror for what they refer to as a Batson challenge. So if, as in this particular case, the defense would repeatedly request that the jurors not be discharged because they are black, and they've indicated throughout the process that they can be fair and impartial and give both sides a fair trial, the judge would then ask the prosecution for a race-based neutral reason why he would want to get rid of this particular juror. And it could be anything like, well, he lives on the wrong side of town. I just don't like the way he parts his hair. It could be anything, all right? And I can tell you, I just recently had a case in federal court where the prosecutors tried to strike the only black juror in the entire jury pool. My client was black, and the judge sustained my objection to a Batson challenge. Never had that sustained. Usually they gloss over it. In Mr. Flowers' case, the Supreme Court says, we're not going to ignore this anymore. And for them to have this systemic need to get rid of black jurors, it's just not fair. And a 7-2 decision is pretty significant in the Supreme Court saying, hey, Mississippi, what you're doing is inappropriate. Mr. Flowers is now on bond, $250,000 bond. He'll have an ankle monitor, but he literally, on his first trial in 2010, was tried, convicted, and sentenced to death. And each and every time the case has been sent back. Let's see if the state of Mississippi is going to do it a 7th time, and let's see if they can do it the correct way. We'll wait and see. What do you think? Now, next, we try to point out things and be straightforward and honest and candid on this channel. And there is an attorney that's out there making everybody look bad. His name is Christopher Hook. He's a plaintiff's lawyer. He's a personal injury attorney, and he was squared off against a legal team at Shepherd Mullen, led by a Peter Klee, in an insurance dispute roughly of about $200,000. So in the personal injury world, not a huge case. Even if this guy's getting 35%, he's going to make $70,000, assuming he's going to get that. What Mr. Hook did was send a series of emails to opposing counsel. Hold your ears if you're going to be offended, because some of the words are foul, but it gives it context. These are some of the emails that Mr. Hook sent. Fuck you, crooks. Eat a bowl of dicks. I'm going to let the long dick of the law fuck Allstate for all in us. Hey, Klee, your cum stain, the demand is now $302 million. Pay up, fuckface. Peter, when you are done filleting your copy boy, tell Allstate the demand is now $305 million. Another Shepherd's Mullen attorney may not be too smart, but at least they have some fucking dignity and honor, unlike you two limp dick motherfuckers. Hey, shit for brains, Allstate owes my client a lot of money. It's due yesterday. Pay up, fucktards, or you will be lucky to work as a notary public in Al Cajon. Hey, fuckface, today only the claim is on sale for $303 million. If you are too old, impotent, and stupid to even discuss settlement, maybe it's time to hand off the file to Paul Seeley. Tell Allstate I'm going to waterboard each one of their trolls that shows up for their depot without any mercy whatsoever. Don't make me come down there and beat you, you fucking thief. You're going to get fucking tattooed across the face, Klee. I'm going batshit crazy on you motherfucking cocksuckers. End quote. So needless to say, Allstate's attorney, Mr. Klee, was not amused. They filed a motion with the court to sanction the young Mr. Hook. So now that we're clear what Mr. Hook had to say, a United States District Court judge, Judge Otis Wright II of the Central District of California, told Mr. Hook bluntly, "You just trashed your profession. He went on to demand Hook resign from the profession, and Mr. Hook declined. Now, Judge Wright is a former deputy sheriff in Los Angeles and a United States Marine Corps veteran, and he told Hook that he acted like a gangster. And the judge stated as follows, quote, "Tell you what, Slick, this profession does not need you," the judge said. "I am going to do what I can to remove you from this profession," end quote. He then asked Hook to resign. Hook said, "I will not do that." Hook responded, prompting Wright to interject, and the judge said, "Shut up. I want you to resign from this profession." Mr. Hook has to pay for fees and costs related to the opposing counsel to file this motion and their time in court. And probably the worst thing that one could do is upset a United States District Court judge who says that he is going to make sure that you have no career. All right? There's a common joke out there that says, do you know what the difference is between a United States District Court judge and God? Yes. God doesn't think he's a United States District Court judge. I have no sympathy for Mr. Hook. That is completely unprofessional. I cannot believe that he behaves in such a way. But I also feel a little sorry for Mr. Hook, because Mr. Hook is going to have a very short career. And if he is allowed to continue to keep his law license, it is going to be a long, long time before anyone ever trusts him. And if he worked for me, I would fire his ass in a heartbeat. Completely unprofessional. Next on the docket, a police officer in Hawaii who had actually been charged with violating homeless people's rights by making them either put their head in a toilet or lick urinals in exchange for not being arrested, has admitted that he had these individuals do such terrible things. The police officer, John Rabago, was charged with conspiring to deprive various men identified in court of their civil rights in connection with the January 28, 2018 incident in Hawaii. Although Rabago originally denied the allegations, he admitted that he would not arrest the homeless man if he licked the urinals. The officers were originally responding to a disturbance claim, and the officer basically made the man lick the urinals and close the door so the camera could not pick it up. Once the homeless man had licked the urinals, he was allowed to go. Another man came forward where he was also told that he would not be arrested if he actually stuck his head in the toilet. Rabago, once finding out that not only his police department, but that the FBI were investigating what had happened, he told a fellow officer to delete text messages of the incidents and tell the investigators that he was just joking. Rabago is expected to be fired, and he could receive a sentence of up to 30 months in prison. What the hell are people thinking? Going back to the Reisch rules of life, what does it hurt to be nice? Yes, every now and then you have to be the jerk. Every now and then you have to poke fingers in people's eyes. But it's not until you've tried everything you can to be absolutely nice. And both of those individuals have exactly what is coming to them. Finally, tonight on the docket is our dumb criminal contestant of the day, who is going to be in a strong running for the dumb criminal winner of the week. And today's story comes from Pennsylvania. Our dumb criminal contestant of the week comes from Pennsylvania. His name is Christopher Minier. He's 37. He's presumed innocent. And what appears to have taken place is that he is an EMT for a local football program. And through the internet, he was aware of some kids. And his request was that he would like to see pictures of their bare feet, and ultimately agreed at one point to pay them some $20 for their used sweaty socks. Apparently, Minier got a little concerned that these two young men were telling other people regarding his somewhat foot/sock fetish, and said, hey, don't do that or I could possibly get in trouble. Well, ultimately, a third teen gets involved and says, hey, Mr. Minier, I know exactly what you're doing, creepo, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to charge you only $500 not to tell everybody and get you in trouble. So why don't you pay up? Mr. Minier agreed, but the third juvenile, quite the little extortionist, said, you know what? I think the cost just went up to $2,000. Minier, apparently not loaded, flush with cash. What does he do? He doesn't pay the money. No. He doesn't, whack the guy, thank goodness. No. He goes to the police and tells them of what he's done wrong. He is now charged with 3 misdemeanor corruption charges against a youth. So we'll see how things turn out for Mr. Minier. Perhaps he needs to get some therapy for his sock/foot fetish. And I got an idea, Mr. Minier. Let's stay away from those kids on the internet. How about that? That's all we have for today. Thank you for watching. Leave us a comment. What do you think of Heidi Broussard's boyfriend? Should he be a person of interest? He is one of the last people to have seen her since she disappeared. Hopefully she's safe, but we are realists here as well. Do you think this prosecutor in Mississippi is doing his job by getting rid of black jurors? Or if his case was so strong, why doesn't he just select the first 12 people and go forward with it? I want to know what you have to say. Tell me about it in the comments. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. And if you would like to receive our free newsletter that we put out weekly, go to scottreisch.com and sign up for it. Doesn't cost you anything. It's free. And we're not going to sell your email list or anything like that. We try to send you some information in the newsletter that we cannot always cover here on the channel. So please do so. Appreciate it. Thanks and have a great day.